So I've created this first middle section of the sole. Now I'm going to create this second section, so in between the middle and the toe. So I'm going to press Shift A and add another plane. I'm going to press S to scale that plane down. Press G on the keyboard to move that plane. Now I want to scale it up again, but only on the X axis. So by pressing X on the keyboard, I can now press Tab to go into edit mode. Now we want to make our loop cuts, so we have more vertices on the edge here. So press Command R and move your mouse around until the loop cut appears horizontally. And we just want to click to confirm that. And just place the loop cut around the center of the rectangle that you've made. And I'm going to increase my amount of cuts to maybe 5. I'm going to go back to the select box on the top left-hand side of the screen. I'm going to jump over to Edge Select. The shortcuts for the Vertex Select, Edge Select, and Face Select are just 1, 2, and 3 on the keyboard. So notice if I press 1 on the keyboard, it is for Vertex Select, 2 is for Edge Select, and 3 is for Face Select. So I'm going to press 2 and go to Edge Select. I'm going to select this bottom edge here, and I'm going to scale that edge down. Here I can move this edge around, and I'm just going to move it to approximately the beginning of this extrusion here. And I'm going to press E on the keyboard. E is the shortcut for extrude. So by extruding this edge, I get to create another edge, which extends from the original edge that I had selected. So I'm going to drag that to the end of that piece of the sole. And I'm going to press S again on the keyboard to scale that down roughly. So again, we are modeling this section quite imperfectly as we're going to adjust it again later. So you can either adjust the shape of the object you're creating by selecting each of the separate vertices or the edges or the faces. At the moment, using the edges is quite useful as we can rotate, move, and scale. Rotate, move, and scale. Once we have the approximate outline of the shape, we need to add our subdivision modifier. So subdivision surface. And we can toggle X-ray mode on and off. And we need to further adjust the shape. Again, remember to change the number of subdivisions in the render option and the viewport. So change them both to 3 for a much smoother outline. For me, this shape will suffice for now. And I'm going to go to the top right-hand side and I'm going to rename that middle front. As this is the middle front. And this section here will be the front section. So we need to go ahead and repeat that process for this front section and these 2 further back sections. So this process will take some time as you are individually moving vertices and edges. But you will notice that the front section and the middle front section are similar to the back and the middle back section. So we can duplicate them and just edit them further, which will save us a bit of time. This section, I'm going to make some loop cuts, but I'm going to make them vertically. I'm going to hold Shift and drag all of these edges, and I'm going to press R to make a rotation. So notice how I begin modeling with everything being very basic blocks. So press R to rotate. I'm going to press A to select all of these points, and I'm just going to press S to scale it up a bit larger. Hold down Shift and select all these inner edges. Now I'm going to add my subdivision surface. Remember to change the number of subdivisions to 3. Toggle X-ray mode on and off. And adjust the shape accordingly. Personally, I want to pay more attention on how much this front section fits into this middle front section. So I want to pay more attention on how these fit together than perfectly tracing the reference image that is behind. Sometimes you can select certain objects that you have made, and you can duplicate them by pressing Shift D. And I'm going to rotate that section. And as the front section looks very similar to this back section, I'm just going to use that shape and edit it further. So I'm going to go over here and rename that to the back. And press Tab to go into edit mode, and of course adjust the shape accordingly. So toggle X-ray mode on and off. That shape that I've made suits me now. I can always go back and edit it further. I'm going to take the middle front section, and I'm going to press Shift D to duplicate that section. The first thing that I'm going to do is rename it before I get confused. So middle back. And I'm going to rotate that 180 degrees-ish. Scale that down. And press Tab to go into edit mode. And adjust the shape from there. If you have more vertices than you feel like you need, you can select these vertices and right-click and dissolve the vertices. I'm quite happy with this shape. So if we zoom out, go into object mode, and if we rotate the scene, what we should have is what kind of looks like the bottom of the shoe.